What's up guys, today I'm going to be doing a beginner's guide for Warhammer Tacticus. So I started playing this game a few months ago and I noticed that there's not really any updated 2024 guides for starting out on YouTube, so I want to just make one myself. So let's just dive right into it. So your main goal as a new player should just be clearing all the base campaigns. There's a total of 8 campaigns with 4 regular and 4 mirror, and to start them you just need the 3 required units. For the first campaign in Dominus, you play as the Ultramarines against the Necrons, and the game when you start will just give you the 3 Ultramarines you need to start it for free. For the other campaigns, you'll eventually unlock all those characters just through farming different tasks in the game. And for the mirror campaigns, the shards for the required units will drop from the bosses in the regular campaigns. Clearing a regular campaign will also unlock the elite version for that campaign, which is way more difficult and has better rewards, but will require your units to be a lot higher level to beat it. So I'll do a quick rundown of all the characters required for each campaign and the best character that you should be focusing on. So for the first campaign, use the Ultramarines, and you need Varro, Certus, and Bellator. The best unit here is definitely Bellator. He's useful in a ton of different game modes and he will help carry you through that campaign. For the mirror version, use the Necrons and you need Makotep, Emospec, and Aleph Null. Aleph Null is by far the best one here. Her summons and her healing are really useful and will help you beat that campaign. The next campaign is the Fall of Cadia, and you use Chaos units, and you need Angrax, Archamados, and Harkin. I would definitely focus on Archamados for the campaign as his summons are really useful, but I also wouldn't neglect Angrax because he's useful in a ton of different game mode and he's a really great character. For the mirror version, you need Sybil, Cutscoden, and Thaddeus Noble. I would definitely focus on Thaddeus here as he's a really great damage dealer and the other 2 units are pretty underwhelming. The next campaign is Octarius and use the Orcs. The Orcs are pretty weak right now, but they're getting a rework, so they'll be a lot better in the future. So I would personally recommend holding off on this campaign for now, but if you do want to do it, you need Gibboscraps, Snappereka, and Boss Golgorts. I would definitely recommend focusing on Gibboscraps, especially his active ability. This summon is really tanky and does a lot of damage, and at high enough levels can pretty much solo the entire campaign for you. I would also recommend focusing on Snotfugga. He's an optional unit for this campaign, but he just got reworked and he's actually pretty good now. For the mirror version, use the Black Templars. So you need Sword Brother Godswill, Brother Brutrid, and Ancient Thoriad. I would definitely focus on Brutrid here. He's really tanky and he could kill a lot of units at once. He's definitely the carry for this campaign. The next campaign is the Samhain campaign, which is also the newest campaign where you use the Eldari. You need Calandus, Athena, and Eldrion. I would definitely recommend focusing on Eldrion here as he's probably the strongest unit in the entire game with his passive that buffs damage, and he's useful in every single game mode. For the mirror campaign, use the Thousand Suns and you need Yazagor, Toth, and Abraxas. I would definitely focus on Abraxas here as his active can pump out a ton of summons and that will carry you through that campaign. Overall, my main recommendation as a new player in this game is just focus on unlocking and beating all the campaigns. I would definitely focus on Bellator, Aleph Null, and Eldrion once you get him. The way you unlock characters in this game is through character shards, which you can get by farming the boss stages in the campaign, as well as from the summoning mechanic of this game, which is requisition scrolls. The game will give you a bunch of free requisition scrolls when you start, and you also get them the first time you ever beat a campaign boss. I would definitely recommend saving up until you have 10, because when you use 10 at a time, you get a guaranteed full character unlock. If you're ever planning on spending any money in this game, as a new player you get an offer for a full character unlock of Commissioner Yarrick, and he's a really strong Imperial unit, but if you wait till that offer expires, you'll get another offer for Isabella, who's by far the best healer in the entire game, and is also not currently farmable, so I would definitely recommend picking that up. If you want to get a super nice head start with a bunch of free Blackstone and scrolls, there's a number of free codes you could enter here. I'll show a full list of them on screen now. As far as I know, this is all the working codes right now, and my refer a friend code is also at the top as well as right under me here. If you use that, you'll get 100 free Blackstone, and I'll also get rewards as you level up, so it's just a great way to help each other out. I'll leave this up on screen for a second so you can take a screenshot. And if you want to enter my refer a friend code, you just go here to refer a friend and enter the code right here. Alright, so now I'm going to go through the different currencies of the game, how you get them, and the best way to use them. So first up, you have coins. You get this pretty much from everything in the game, and it's used to upgrade your character's abilities. And also in the in-game shop here. It's super abundant at low levels, but the further you get your character's abilities, the more and more coins it costs to upgrade. So I'd recommend saving up and not spending it on random upgrades in the shop. Next, you have raid tickets. This is basically just used to instantly clear a campaign battle that you've already beaten, and they're super abundant and you'll pretty much never run out of them, so don't worry about it too much. Then you have energy. This refreshes passively, and this is what you use to play campaign battles every day. There's a couple options for refreshes. The first refresh you do every day is free. You could just watch a 30-second ad and it gives you 50 energy. After that, it costs 50 Blackstone for a full refresh, and then 110, and then 250, and then even up to 500. I would definitely recommend watching the ad and spending 50 Blackstone every day to refresh, but I wouldn't recommend doing higher than that unless you have a super high surplus of Blackstone. The last currency is Blackstone, which is the premium currency of this game, and it's used for energy refreshes, upgrades in this shop, and also for requisition scrolls. I would recommend doing the energy refreshes, but I would not recommend ever spending your Blackstone in this shop, as it's really just not worth it for these upgrades. And for requisition scrolls, if you have a really high surplus of Blackstone, you could do some, but also it's better just hold on to for energy refreshes. Now I'm going to go over unit progression and the different ways to upgrade your characters. So first up, every character has an active as well as a passive ability, and you level these up using coins as well as badges. You get badges primarily through Onslaught, which is a wave-based game mode where you fight hordes of enemies, and at the end you get rewarded with a bunch of faction-specific badges. Next up is Rarity, which starts all the way at Common and goes up to Legendary. And the way you upgrade this is through character shards, which you can get from farming campaign bosses, as well as requisition scrolls, and orbs, which you could also get from rec scrolls, as well as honoring your hero at the end of an Onslaught. You also have XP level, which goes up anytime you use your character, and can also be upgraded further using XP books, which you get primarily from guild content. Each unit can equip 3 pieces of gear: an offensive, defensive, and a booster item. You typically acquire this gear through the salvage run game mode. As a general rule of thumb, it's generally best for the offensive item to have the highest % crit chance for units with multi-hits, and the highest crit damage for units that only have a single hit. For the defensive item, it's generally better to have health and armor, or to have the highest block % chance. Last but definitely not least is your character's rank. This is definitely the most important way of upgrading your characters. The way you do this is just farming campaign battles till you get all the required materials to up your character's rank. You could find the materials that you need just by clicking on it and pressing find, and it'll show you the campaign battles that you need to clear to get that item. It's also important to note that all of your character's progression is locked behind the rarity of that character. For example, uncommon units can only get up to level 17 and max rank of bronze 1, whereas rare characters can get up to level 26 and have a max rank of silver. Now we're going to take a look at guild content. I encourage you to join an active guild, as there's a lot of rewards that can be found here. You have 2 different game modes: guild raids, where you and your guildmates work together to take down a tough boss and you get rewards from it, as well as Guild War, where your guild faces up against another guild in PvP. From guild raids, you earn guild credits every time you take down a boss, and you could use those in the shop here. I would recommend buying the XP books, as eventually you'll hit a wall where it becomes really hard to level up your characters, as well as shards for characters that you need to unlock campaigns like Eldrion. For Guild War, I recommend using all of the war credits that you get for unlocking Nauseous Rotbone, as he's the only chaos healer and he's a super important unit to have. The last permanent game mode is Arena, which is a PvP game mode where you fight against other players' teams and get rewarded for your victories. This game also has a monthly battle pass as well as missions. The battle pass will cycle through a different character each month, and through completing the missions in it and earning points, you can get upgrade materials, rec scrolls, Blackstone, as well as shards for that character. The missions are permanent and just encourage you to beat the campaigns and level up your characters, and will reward you for doing so. You also get a daily mission that you should complete every day, and every time you clear a campaign boss for the first time, it'll give you a limited time mission for 24 hours that will reward you with a rec scroll. So I definitely recommend not missing out on that. The last thing that I have to talk about is events in this game. There's 2 main ones, being hero release events and legendary release events. Hero release events just refer to when they add a new character in the game. They add an event where you can get that character completely free. So right now the Macer Bloodgrin event is going on. He just got added to the game, and you can get him completely free by just doing his quest line and earning points in the event. And these events last for 2 weeks. Legendary release events refer to when they add a legendary character to the game, such as Anshi, and these events happen every month, and they happen 3 times for each character. These events are really difficult and have a wave style format like Onslaught, where you have to fulfill specific requirements in order to get points to get the character. As a newer player, I wouldn't worry about this too much, as you're not going to be able to unlock the legendary characters. This is more of endgame content and is really difficult. Okay, wow. I know that was a ton of information, and I really hope I didn't scare you off of this game. It's a really fun game, and as you play, all this stuff will become second nature to you. I've been playing these sorts of gacha games for years. I put so much time into Summoners War and AFK Arena, and I feel like those games were so much more complicated and required so much more of my time. This is a game where you could log in once or twice a day, just spend all your energy, and you won't get that sense of FOMO for not playing 24/7. If you're looking for more information about the best characters and abilities and what characters to use in certain game modes, I'll be making a more in-depth guide going through each faction and all the characters soon, and who's good, who's bad, who you should level, what abilities you should focus on. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This video took me forever to make. It's the first video I've ever made for YouTube. And if you guys want to thank me and help me out, please use my referral code. That'll really help me out and help me make more content. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.